Hello, this is Nemesis, and this is a review of Transformers Titans Return Deluxe Class Kup with his Titan Master Flintlock from Wave 4 of the line. And yes, this is a new version of Kup for this Generations style line. It's more like his, I guess, original 86 version from the movie and whatnot. As well, it's more like that weird, angular, futuristic, quote unquote, truck. It's got that weird, just slots, straight lines and whatnot, and the weird downsloping front end, and it's very short. That's a very short truck bed. It rolls pretty well. The back wheels are partially hidden by the sculpt, and it's actually kind of a nice little truck mode. You can also take his guns. He has two of them. It's two guns. You can plug into the back right here. Just pop and pop for storage if you want. They don't look great like that, in my opinion. They're also, you can plug them into the sides, like the instructions say. But again, it's kind of a weird looking. I prefer not to have the guns attached in vehicle mode. Just like most Transformers. So he looks pretty good. Colors are pretty accurate. Here he is with the previous generation's Kup. This is the Hasbro version. And this is obviously more of a realistic Earth style truck. This is a more Cybertronian or futuristic 80s futuristic style truck. So you notice they are definitely the new one's definitely noticeably shorter, but he compacts well. And so there's that. So it's kind of one of those, which version is better? It kind of comes down to what you want. This guy is more an alt mode. Well, they're so different, you can't really compare them. This is more of a, hey, this is kind of realistic Earth alt mode. This is a, hey, this is a Cybertronian / weird 80s futuristic truck. So there's that to deal with. So it kind of comes down to which do you prefer. If you really, really want more accurate to the original G1, this is your guy. If you want, hey, I want a realistic Earth mode, this is it. So it really comes down to that. His Titan Master Flintlock, it's supposed to tab in there, but unfortunately, there's just simply, it doesn't really do it very well. But he's gray and that weird light green, seafoam green, I guess. So it looks okay. Is that a? Oh yeah, I think that's a slight stress mark. Sure how well this shows up, but right there on the hip, there's a slight line. Oh geez. When he folds up, though, into a head, which I'll get to later. Anyway, transform it. Take the tailgate here, pull it down. Take the entire sides of the truck, and I like this part of the transformation. It's actually pretty cool. Take the entire, it's like the Generations Orion's packs we had. Take the whole sides of the truck and split the legs apart in the back. Move them. This will click into place, and then you fold these up, and it'll kind of. There is a spot for this to kind of sit, and it will sit at an angle, and then you fold this down. It'll tab in, and you take those tailgate pieces and tab them in like that. Then take the feet and pull them out, and that's one leg done. Do the same on the other side. Fold it up until it clicks. Then fold these up. There's a spot for that to sit. Doesn't tab in. It kind of tabs in, but doesn't lock until you get this. We'll fold down, pull the tailgate down, and then foot. And there, you got the whole lower half done. Then take the waist, rotate it around, and then it's more cool stuff. It's just from here you take the front end. Fold it down, tab it into that, open the canopy, move the whole thing upwards, then kind of cording it back down. This gray part will move down in this, and then move this all forward so it clicks, and then close that up until it clicks. Got that, and then untab the arms, move them down, unpeg them from the top. That one's a bit tight on mine. There's a little tiny peg. I'm not sure how well it's going to hold out. Untab them and then move the fists. And then finally, of course, as usual, take the head and click it in, and boom, you've got the new Titans Return Kup. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Well, I forgot to mention this earlier, but guns can peg together into one double-barreled thing. These are big barrels. And a Titan Master, of course, pegs in right there and can sit in there and whatnot. Again, like to have them, dual wield, so rather than having one big gun, but that's just me. Oh, and these, the nice thing actually, just before. Yeah, but you can, hold them like normal. And these can actually peg together and store on the back right there. There's 2 pegs. You can just store right there. So I guess you can make it a jetpack or something if you want. But yeah, he looks pretty good. He actually looks kind of very reminiscent of his original G1 self. The head isn't green, which is getting some people upset. I mean, I think that's more like the old comics or something. I'm not sure. I never read the old comics, but people are upset that it's not green. I think it looks all right. It would not surprise me if the car version will have the green helmet. So if that's really important to you, then I guess you'll wait for that. But yeah, his head's just like every other Titans Return figure. So can move up a little bit up and down, but mostly left to right. Shoulders, forward and back on ball joints, and they also have that little stock. Well, this one's stiff, so that's not as helpful, but it's there. Yeah, it can also go out pretty far, although the sculpting kind of gets in the way unless you angle it forward a little bit. Bicep swivel. Yep, bicep swivel, very high up. Elbows, because of how it transforms, it's got double jointed elbows, which is great. There's no wrists don't really move except for that way, so that's unfortunate. But just so no swivels or anything. Waist rotates though very nicely. Hips forward, back, whatnot, outward pretty far, not full but pretty far outward. Thighs do rotate. This is very low cut thigh swivel. Knees about 90 degrees. Not really that surprising. What's actually pretty cool is both tires wind up back here, so it's and whatnot. And feet can do this, not a whole lot, but it can be helpful in some cases, I guess. But what's really impressive is all that truck, just kind of the way this robot moves very clean. There's like no kibble, like none. It all compresses down so well. That is very impressive, and I really like how it looks. It's actually a really good figure. Just as a comparison here is with the previous generation's Kup. And, yeah. About the same height. He's got his ugly face thing. Again, this is a weird one. I'm not sure. Like, these are so different. I mean, his biggest selling point is like no kibble. He's got these arm things that get in the way of posing and stuff. There's there's little things that just the back. He's got a big, pretty significant backpack, and well, it's not that significant, but he's got a backpack. He's got these arm things just hanging out here. The wheels sometimes, and the arms, these panels and the the panels and the wheels sometimes just bang into each other and trying to pose them. So that's annoying. This guy has no problems with that. This guy has some good posability stuff like these weird elbows and stuff, but then he's got these weird problems with the knees, don't bend that far and stuff. So he's more posable, well, except for the ankles. This guy does have ankle tilts, very slight, but they're there. But I can't really decide which one I like better. I think honestly it really depends on what you're looking for, and then a lot of that's going to come down to the alt mode itself, which you got an earth-based alt mode versus a more Cybertronian / futuristic alt mode. So it really comes down to what you want. If you really want a G1, more G1 faithful, this is your guy. But this guy's pretty good too, and he does have the, all the stuff that a lot of the G1 toy, or the G1 character and toy had. So it's kind of weird. And they're also very different shades of green. This is much more of a darker green. This is a lot of seafoam green and more bluish green. It's kind of strange. I can't decide which one's better. I mean, you're going to have to look at these side by side like this and decide for yourself. But, I mean, this guy, for me, just kind of has that, it's a new toy thing, so I'd kind of gravitate towards it by that. But it's really not so much that I'm like, oh, wow, it's just better, like, just overall better. It's not like that Hot Rod before where I was like, oh, this is, the new one's clearly better. I'm like, this is less clear cut for me. I mean, Yeah, they each have their little advantages over each other, but there's not a whole lot there. So it's just kind of comes down to you just got to look at and decide which one do I like better. So that's why I'm leaving it up on the screen like this for a while. So anyway, I hope this was at least helpful in your decision. Cup's showing up in some Walgreens around the U.S. and probably will show up other places soon, ish, hopefully. And yeah, just kind of look at this and decide for yourself which one you prefer on your shelf. I mean, you might already have a Generations Cup, and you might be able to get a Generations Cup pretty cheap just because people are going to be selling them off to replace them with this new one. So it just comes down to personal preference, really. There is no clear winner here, I guess. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, that's enough of me babbling. So this was again Titans Return Deluxe Class Cup.